Angela Putkela with the Putkela Group, and this is our podcast, Welcome to Livingston. This is my partner in crime here.
I'm Don Putkela, and welcome today to our podcast where we talk about all things Livingston County.
Yep, this is great. This is so exciting to be able to feature small business. As realtors, we really have a privilege of helping people come into the community and getting to know it better. And so this is just an avenue for us to really focus in. And we have a special treat for you today. This is Jessica Brooks, who is the owner of the Dress Shop in Howell, which is a beautiful, beautiful store. And we want to welcome you today,
thank
Jessica.
you. Happy to be here.
Excellent. Great. Oh, so gorgeous. So I mentioned that it's in Howell. I don't know if you want to explain to us exactly where and maybe how you got there.
And what it is, because the dress shop is a bridal salon. And so we get calls all the time. Do you have prom? Do you have homecoming? Do you have this, that? No, we bridal. So
that's a great point.
Yeah. So the dress shop is a bridal salon. We are located on the east end of Howell, kind of near the Coles side of town. So very convenient on and off, really close to the exits, which is
both of the exits there.
Really great because a lot of our brides drive, out an hour or more to get to us. So
fantastic.
That is so good. And I love the location because you can see it right from Grand River. So if someone's driving, it's almost impossible not to see the dress shop.
Yes, it's actually, we get a lot of calls saying, I have to come in because there's this dress I saw driving by, and then we have to try to figure out which dress it was. There's so many,
but the white one.
The white one, exactly. And it was really pretty.
Oh, goodness.
So, yeah.
How fun. And then how did you come about finding that location? It sounded like maybe your husband was very integral in that.
Yeah, my husband does commercial real estate, and so going on 8 years, this will be our 8th year in business. And when we were looking for a spot, it wasn't even an option. He was like, this is it. I have your spot. This is where you're going. And I have to say, it's been perfect for us. We couldn't wish for anything better. It's a beautiful location. It's bright, lots of windows, very airy. Like you said, it's right on Grand River, good drive-by, good exposure, but it's also just lent itself to the perfect space for brides. With the windows, you can see it's hard to see.
A lot of natural light.
Yeah, a lot of natural light, but being able to see the dress and all the different lights, the location was just absolutely perfect for what we needed.
Fantastic. And what a great way for these brides to feel special in such an elegant atmosphere. And
yeah.
Good choice. I'm glad to hear that it's working out so well for you because it's
love it.
Great shop there.
Yes.
So wonderful. So now, how did you get your start getting into bridal?
So, like any other college graduate, this is not what I planned.
Right?
I have a background in public relations and marketing and a master's in business management. And I was at Crystal Gardens for almost 15 years. I was when I left there, I was the vice president of the company, kind of running everything. And so what happened was we were actually looking for a way to diversify, get into other things. Crystal Gardens was. And so we started researching, decided on maybe a bridal salon would be fun. So my husband and I decided that we would become partners with the owners of Crystal Gardens, open a bridal salon. And from there, I just moved into the world of bridal. Turns out bridal fashion is a lot different than actually planning a wedding, but different ends of the spectrum. And it's been so fun because I spent the first 15 years really celebrating with 300 brides a year, planning their weddings and really doing the end part. And now I get to meet with hundreds and hundreds of brides who are just at the beginning of their journey. And so it's been really cool. And it's been very cool to watch weddings and the wedding industry evolve over the years too. So it's been really fun.
I'm sure there's been a lot of changes with everything. I mean, my goodness gracious.
And what an interesting business to be in, because I imagine that so many people, when they walk through the door, are so excited. I mean, this is something they've dreamed about their entire lives, and you get to be part of that.
Well, and it's real estate. We encounter that too. So.
Yeah. So you guys can probably appreciate that, right? That's what I love is we are a part of making memories, right? These are the most important memories that these women are going to have forever. And also it's like such a magical, special, happy moment. And there's moments that are not, there's, I've got all sorts of stories about the moments that are not, cause it's stressful, but that's really what our goal is to do everything we can to make it less stressful. Let's make it easy. Let's figure out what we need to do to make each guest feel good when they leave, knowing that there's going to be ups and downs along the way, but it really is magical. There's nothing better than having a client who comes in who's scared, who's unsure, who doesn't like her body, who
Very anxious.
very anxious, who's got, maybe some people joining her that aren't making her day great. And
That's a nice way to put it. Yeah.
We all have those family members, right? But that we really have a chance to just really make her feel good, make her day good, and make her experience good. And there's nothing better than a bride just like looking at herself in the mirror and being like, oh my gosh, is this really me? It's just so beautiful. And it's the most magical thing. And I'm so blessed that we get to come to work every day and just make people feel good.
Oh my gosh, how rewarding.
Yeah,
that is awesome. So that probably segues nicely into what makes your dress shop different.
Yes.
Or
that's our no. Yeah. I think our approach to everything is I want everyone to have a good experience. I want everyone, we're really big into empowering women, and it starts with the staff. So, it's really important that every single member of our team feel empowered, feel strong, feel beautiful, be their best self. We work a lot on coaching and positive speaking and intentions, and we even meditate every week before work, because it's just like a fun, nice way to just like bring
Great
everybody
environment.
up. Yeah, we're really, really supportive of our team, because I think that's where it starts. You can tell if you ever walked into a business and you're like, oh, these people hate working here,
Right?
right?
Oh my
But
gosh,
it changes your experience, and we want to make sure that every client that walks in feels good and loves being there. And that starts with the staff that we hire and the way that we run our business and how we all work together. And so we truly are a team. You'll see our staff working together. It's amazing how well they work together, and how you can really see that they want everyone to feel good. They want everyone to look good. The goal really is, we want a bride to find her dress. There's times when a bride will have been shopping at this must be her second store, and we might end up saying, you know what, it sounds like you already found your dress somewhere else. And we are just as happy for her, because ultimately that's what you want. Our goal is to help a bride find that magical moment, even if hopefully it's in our store.
Right.
But,
but when it's not, I mean,
Yeah.
it's because that's what the goal is, you
Yeah.
know, and that's what every bride wants. You know, it can be so stressful and so much going on that
Yep.
when you have good people that are by your side helping with that journey,
Exactly.
then that will make it so much better.
And then we try to be full service as well. We have bridal couture seamstresses that are extremely highly trained, so we can do all the alterations. So if a bride purchases from us, she knows her dress is going to be perfect. There's no problems. Great. I've definitely seen some problems when, it's hard to know what to do with your dress for alterations. So we've got amazing seamstresses. We have, all of handmade heirloom headpieces, beautiful jewelry, beautiful veils. So we try to do everything and have every option for every bride so that she really can complete her whole look. So by the time she leaves our store, it's kind of like sigh of relief. I'm done. I feel good. Yay. Now let's go find a DJ,
Right. Exactly.
So we want her to leave our store just feeling good and just feeling like she's just got a huge weight lifted off of her. Knows she's going to be completely set for her wedding. We've got her. She's going to be beautiful, and we'll handle the details. So
awesome. Yeah. Outstanding. Now, one of the things I wanted to ask is in terms of the timing. So the timing for fittings and so forth, how early should a bride start looking for that dress? Now.
Yes. Really the day you get engaged.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I think this is actually a really interesting topic that we're seeing from brides a lot, because bridal salons are not all being honest with brides. And I think on a global level, there is a huge shipping
every industry
crisis, right? And we don't like to pretend it's not there. So there are shipping delays. We know that. With that in mind, we want brides to be buying their dresses at least 8 months to a year in advance, if not longer. Okay. You need a couple months for alterations. With that being said, if a bride comes in and she doesn't have that long, which happens, we do have options as well. Some of our best designers, they all have gowns, in-stock gowns. So we can look and see, okay, listen, your wedding's in 4 months. These are the dresses we can get for you. And, what can we do to make this yours? And can we help you fall in love with a dress that we're able to get? We also have a selection of gowns that could be purchased off the rack from our store if needed. Okay. We always want to make sure every bride is taken care of and has options. So the goal is whether your wedding is I literally had a bride come in on Saturday and her wedding was this next week. So
wow,
not ideal, but we can do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the
more
more time, the better.
options. Yeah.
But we want to have an answer for every bride.
Excellent.
Yeah.
It's good that you have that flexibility
Yeah.
too. So wonderful. Now, how did COVID affect your business? Because it made it harder for people to come in and for seeing those. And
We actually, we are set up perfectly for COVID and we didn't even know it.
works out good.
Our store is all private fitting rooms. So that was kind of the biggest thing with COVID, right? Is being able to keep your guests separated and segregated. And obviously we're a pretty large salon. So, we had to cut back a little bit on guest limits and things like that, but we have all private fitting rooms. So we offer appointments for groups of 4, groups of 6, or now we just, created a new fitting room. We can do up to 10 guests in a fitting room.
Wonderful.
So
Wow.
yeah, so we really try to cater to each group, the size of the group, but also keep it a private experience. So, yeah, and we still have people with a lot of COVID concerns. And so, the nice thing is being able to keep the fitting rooms separate. It provides that intimate experience, and anybody who's got more concerns, I think they feel a little bit safer.
Yeah, to have that privacy. And
Yeah.
boy, your website is just stunning. As a,
thank you.
Kind of tours the store, gives
Yeah.
people an idea. And
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
definitely worth checking out, in which case we'll mention it near the end. But,
Yes.
But if we want to maybe share right now what the website is.
Yes, the website is tdsbridal.com. So TDS Bridal. And you can do everything from look up our designers to book an appointment to see a full tour of our store, everything in between. Learn more about our staff, about who we are. We've got staff profiles on. We just really want everyone to feel like family when they're coming in. So
That is wonderful. And I think the fact that you have such a large staff is a testament to what a good job you're doing with them. Because in this day and age, I mean, you hear from everybody that everybody's hiring, and
we are
are
hiring.
but that you have a robust staff. That
We do,
people like it. They they're working
Yes.
hard and want to stay. That
Yes.
good part of the environment. Then.
Yes. Yeah. I think that's huge. And it's nice to be able to provide, even to provide a sense of continuity and a sense of security for staff right now. I think that's a big thing as well. So I feel very, very blessed that we have not faltered. I mean, our sales have never been better. We're having our best years ever since COVID. So, and I think that's a big testament to our staff and the amazing team that we have, and everybody pitches in and works together, and we're doing it. And
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Well, good for you guys.
you.
That's where it's at. That's what it's about. And local, and
Yeah.
everybody buy local. But by that token, it's interesting to hear that people are coming from far and wide. Where do most of your guests, end up coming from?
obviously we have a lot of Livingston County. That's going to be our number one. And then, but we have a lot of East Side brides. A lot of brides are driving, like I said, an hour or more. So we get a lot of brides from, most of our brides are East Side of the state. But we get a lot of brides from Grand Rapids, West Side of the state, even Chicago. We get a lot of Chicago brides. So
Nice.
yeah. And it's,
That they're coming in all the way from Chicago.
yeah. Well, you see, we see a lot of brides moving to Chicago, or a lot of students moving to Chicago for jobs.
Okay.
And then I think they come back to Michigan for all the wedding stuff because that's where their families are. So
Back home.
yeah, back home. Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
that makes sense. Now, in terms of the designers, I mean, maybe that is a factor too. So which designers do you carry? Do you find are very popular?
Yeah. So designers is definitely huge. So it's important that we always look at carrying the top designers in the country to make sure we've got the top trends. But then within that, we're also looking at each season, we're looking at each collection to make sure that we're carrying the top trends. We're looking for any styles we might be missing, and then really making sure we've got a full and robust collection. So we have Maggie Sotero, her sister company, Rebecca Ingram. We've got Maury Lee. We have, I'm sorry, my brain just went blank. Let's see. Then we've got Justin Alexander. We just recently picked up Inzoni, which we are in love with the new Inzoni collection. So anybody who hasn't checked that out definitely should. And then Ever After is my absolute favorite. It's our private label line. And what's cool about that is this line is comprised of dresses that we can't find anywhere else. So basically we've got designers who are kind of working for us to help us build and create a collection to really round out our collection. So if we're hearing that there's things that brides are wanting, but it just doesn't exist, we're creating it. And so we're bringing that into our store. So, and
that's spectacular.
It is. And what's cool is it's not something a bride's going to just find online anywhere else. She's not going to see every other bride wearing it. It's unique to our store. So yeah, it's pretty cool. We love it.
Neat. So touching on that, what do you see the trends for this year ahead being?
Everything. That's what's actually really cool is right now the trends are so changing. We're seeing a lot of boho. The boho is coming back in a big way.
Okay, let's explain what boho is. Maybe those in the audience might not be familiar.
Boho tends to be a little bit more Art Deco, more abstract. What we're seeing, I used to think it was like a more indie hippie style, but the new boho is a little bit different than that. We're seeing maybe the barefoot bride, but also the high-end bride, the two different extremes. They're adding a lot of beads and sparkle to boho. It's kind of the different designs and just, it's got all different feelings to it, but it's a pretty cool thing. Then we're seeing a lot of the classic, the really classy. We're seeing the Mikados and the silks and the, the really simple, clean lines of dresses coming back, but we're still seeing a lot of the romance and the soft with all the different laces. We're seeing a lot of different laces. Still a lot of Chantilly, still a lot of the, English lace and, a lot of different laces are still really, and I think we're always going to see laces and wedding dresses. Sparkle in all new ways. We are seeing so many layers of sparkle tulle and glitter tulle and sequins and Swarovski crystals and different beadings. It's really interesting to watch what the designers are doing with sparkle, because every season we think they can't possibly do something more, and then they do
something all new.
They do, and it's really cool. Even now they've created skirts that we can put underneath any bridal dress to add sparkle.
Wow.
They're really coming up with fun ways to make the dresses more customizable. We're seeing customization is huge. Every one of our designers now offers customization. So you love this dress, but you want to change the neckline, you want to change the back, you want to change the straps, you want to whatever. Our designers are customizing it, which I think we all know that's kind of the direction we're all going, right? We want something that feels personal to us. And so the fact that we can now offer that is
customized
cool.
experience. I feel like that's in so many segments, whether it is wedding dresses or purchasing homes or anything. It's really even food,
everything is customized, right?
Customized experience.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think that's really important. So so we offer it too.
Yeah. So we're all individuals.
Well, it's interesting because I find this whole conversation fascinating coming from a groom point of view.
Sure. Yeah.
So I've been a little quiet over here because from the guy point of view, we go and we run a tux and we show up. And we don't get to hear anything about the dress till she walks down the aisle. So it's kind of like, off in the background, but it's not something we think about other than, hey, we should be supportive and make sure people are happy. So it's fascinating to hear because we know it's important, but we sometimes don't realize how unique and how important it is.
Oh, and it is. It's, and that's, a dress is not just a dress. I think when I first got into this, that's what I thought. It's like, you find a dress that you like, and that's it. But it's not. That's one of the things we work with brides on is she'll put a dress on and be like, oh, it's so pretty. And we'll be like, okay, but can you see yourself in it on your wedding day? And she's like, oh, no. Right? And that's important. And that's a big thing is, it's a huge decision. It's a decision that 50 years from now, there's still going to be photos of this dress.
Absolutely.
And, she's going to be pulling that dress out to show to her children and her grandchildren. And it's a monumental decision and it's such an important one. So yeah, I think that a lot of times the groom doesn't understand quite what went into the decision, and even her decision of how's he going to think about me down the, and we're always like, he's going to think you're beautiful, but right. It's a stressful decision. So
it becomes a big deal. And I know for me, so it's been 21 years, but we went to so many shops, tried on so many dresses. And once we landed on the right one, I looked at myself in the mirror and there was such joy, but I said, yep, I like it. And my poor mom, she's like, we've gone through all this for, yep, I like it. Like she expected me like I'd won the lottery. And like, no, I really like it. It makes me happy.
And that's what's fun. You probably see the same thing with real estate, all the different personalities, right?
Exactly.
We have some brides who, their whole groups are cheering and screaming and everyone's crying. Then we have other brides who are like, yes. And I'm like, okay, but that's what's fun too, is like is meeting all the different people and seeing all the different ways that people interact and react. And ultimately, like, my goal is whether it's yay or yep, that just to make sure that they're equally satisfied and happy with that dress,
Exactly, because there's such different personalities.
Yeah.
Exactly. And speaking of the personalities, and, I thought about it at the beginning with first-time home buyers who come with their parents.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm having a different conversation with the husband and wife that are buying a house than I'm having with the parents. And I'm trying to somewhat separate the two.
Yes.
How do you work with that? Because I assume that that's, the mom has one idea and the bride has another idea, and
Almost
figuring that
always.
out.
Almost always. Yeah. And that's, that can be a challenge at sometimes, but ultimately our goal is the bride is our client, but so is everyone else in the room. We want to make sure. So we really focus on making it a good experience for everyone. And the bride, we champion the bride always, but we want to make sure that the mom is equally having a good experience with us, because we want everyone to leave feeling good. So especially if we notice that there's some tension, we don't believe in elephants in the room. If there's an elephant in the room, we talk about it.
Let's talk it through.
Let's talk it through. I think that's the most important thing in really making someone feel comfortable is let's talk about anything we're not comfortable about. So, a lot of, we sometimes even have brides that'll call us ahead of time and say, hey, I've got a mom or a grandma or somebody in the group that's going to be difficult. And we work with her, so we really try to figure out what we can do to make it a good experience. And I want that mom to be happy too. I really do want everyone to leave happy. So yeah, it can be a challenge. And sometimes it's a little bit of compromising to figure out what's going to make the bride happy and what's going to make the mom happy. And, usually we can, coming
up with solutions.
With solutions.
You're familiar with your designers, and even like you had mentioned, the option to be able to have a whole new thing of like, since you mentioned the designers will customize and change some things that maybe if, not as much skin or whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's always a challenge, but I think it's a fun challenge. And if you go in with the right mindset, if you're not, I've seen people go in and they're trying to fight the group. You can't fight the group. You've got to work with the group. And I think as soon as you learn how to do that, and it almost always works out.
Excellent.
I mean, I assume that it's a little bit like also when we're looking for someone for that perfect house, that we're talking to them about their wants and needs and their dreams and kind of weeding through to what's important. And sometimes they're able to find that, but sometimes it's up to us to listen to all that and go out and say, no, let's go look at this. It wasn't on your list, but.
And I think that's just it. I think what you're talking about is the exact same thing. And that's where you need to be working with an expert, whether it's in buying a bridal dress or buying a house, because we've got brides that come to us and they have all these pictures, they have all these ideas, but until they've actually tried it on, seen it on their body, and really had an expert really working with them to say, well, it sounds like what you're really liking is, this, because every time we try on this, it's this and this, you're saying this. And so it really sometimes takes an expert. It's very similar to you guys, where if you've never bought a house, or even if you have bought a house, sometimes what you're looking for,
the idea versus the reality.
Yes, exactly. I think we probably could very relatable.
Right. We help bridge the gap.
Yes, yeah. And that's really, that's what experts are for. That's what you're paying for with, real estate agents, with bridal salons, with anything. I think it's very important to consult with an expert.
Right. And I think from the expert point of view, it is the best feeling when I found the perfect house and I take them to it and they get out of the car and I'm like, I got it exactly right.
Yeah. There's nothing that feels better, right? Because you've helped someone, and just like to watch them and to know that they're so happy and and you just made such an important memory for them, and such a,
That's what we love about our job.
Right? Yeah. It's so I think
we are hiring anybody looking. But great. Well, and I know we're running out of time a little bit here, but I always love to ask, what do you love most about Livingston County?
It's home. Honestly, I've been in Howell my whole life. I always thought I would leave, and I just can't. So, and now that I've got a family, raising a family here, it's such a beautiful area. But there's so much to do. I mean, it's just incredible. It's just home.
Awesome. And so many people are finding this out and moving in.
Yeah.
You've probably seen a lot of changes then if you've been out here your whole life.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we've been out here 20 years, and it was amazing because when we we're moving out here, we told our family, we're like, we're moving to Howell. And they're like, you're moving where? Because we came from in town, and they're like, they thought it was the end of the earth.
Yeah.
And it's not. It's just
not.
so many wonderful things here. And you find once you live out here that there's less and less reasons to go into town because everything's here.
Everything's here. Yeah. I absolutely agree. And it's been fun to watch more and more things come in and watching, it grow and change, and just the people. There's just such good people. Yes. I love that you walk into a coffee shop, whether it's Howell or Brighton or anywhere, and everybody, and everybody's so warm and friendly. It's just
absolutely.
Yeah.
It makes it feel like home for everybody, whether you've been living here a day or your whole life.
Exactly. It's awesome.
Awesome. Well, that is great. Well, in terms of recapping for, ways for people to reach you, to find out more about the store.
Yes,
what are the best?
Absolutely. Call us. Our phone number is 517-546-3600. Our website, tdsbridal.com. Instagram is _dress_shop_bridal. So the Dress Shop Bridal. Facebook, you can find us, the Dress Shop. You can find us pretty easily on Facebook as well. And that's a good way to connect to our Instagram. So we're on all the platforms. We're on TikTok as well, if you're looking for some fun, interesting videos.
Wow.
Perfect. Well, ladies, as soon as you get engaged, or even if you're getting closer, check all of this out. This is the place to go, the place to be. We definitely appreciate you taking the time to meet with us, Jessica. We learned a lot about your bridal salon, and it was very interesting to have you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Perfect. Well, welcome to Livingston.